Okay, this is YouTube, right? Like you and I are both literally on YouTube right now. It's a functional platform and an incredible place to build a community, and a perfect place for us to search for and find answers to our questions for free. That's pretty cool. That's an opportunity to empower ourselves and promote our movie and short film projects, and it's an opportunity which didn't exist with the same power and reach even 10 years ago. But you should not even think about posting your film here. No, and this is why. YouTube, or something like it, will always be here for you. It'll always be an opportunity available to everyone, which means you should exhaust more lucrative and powerful opportunities first. Many of which, actually all of which, are ruled out the instant you post your film right here on the tube. Because there's no further business opportunities to be had once your project has been put out there for free. So here's a breakdown of the 4 things you should try first before the 5th thing, YouTube. Major film festivals. Not all film festivals are created equal, and there's a small list of super festivals which are all but guaranteed to get important eyes on your film. The likes of Sundance, Tribeca, Toronto, Cannes, Venice, Berlin, South by Southwest, AmDocs, you get the picture. They get attended by not only hundreds of thousands of movie lovers every year, but also by major film distributors like Gravitas, Magnolia, and A24, and streaming platforms a la Netflix, Hulu, AppleTV, and Disney+. If your film has a chance of getting picked up by any of these organizations, it's going to likely happen if you get into one of these bigger film fests. They also have the benefits of awards, which can drive credibility for newer creators. The downside is that these major festivals often require premiere status, which is forfeited the instant your project goes live on a streaming or distribution platform, including, yep, you guessed it, YouTube. This also forces films to wait to hear from the major fest before moving forward with smaller and regional festivals, which brings us to, you guessed it, regional and small film festivals. These are always going to be your most efficient, by that I mean cheapest, way to get your film into movie theaters. Submission fees for smaller film fests can be in the $20 range, and you have such an immensely greater chance of being accepted into them. The total number of eyes on your film may go down, but the number of connections and the quality of those connections go up, because you can build a real relationship with the festival team, other filmmakers, and the audience. It's at those smaller film festivals where you really feel like you've been seen and heard. And maybe your film festival strategy nets out to an incredible opportunity called distribution, which takes us to number 3 on the list, major distribution. Now, let me preface here that not all film distributors are created equal, not just in their size and reach within the industry, but in their legitimacy and integrity. So always put in a good amount of time and effort on due diligence when the distributor reaches out to you. Always approach conversations knowing that they aren't the only shop in town, that you always have the power to say no to a bad offer. There's always room for negotiation, and you really shouldn't ever accept the first offer to come your way. That said, there are major distributors out there, and if you can get your film in front of them, and it's truly and candidly, people, good, if your film, you can be honest about how good it is, they will want it and they will pay you for it. Just know that putting your film on YouTube means you'd never have an opportunity at a major distributor, and the start of distribution will effectively end your ability to drive interest from film festivals. It's a line in the sand, but when you're ready for it, it's here. And if you don't get an offer from a film distributor, or even more likely, you don't get a good offer from a film distributor, there's always self-distribution, which is number 4. You're out here doing research on the basics of what you do with your film once it's complete. So let me introduce you to 3 acronyms you're going to hear a lot: TVOD, AVOD, SVOD. TVOD, or Transactional Video On Demand, is where users can stream your film by paying the platform for them. Platforms like iTunes and some of the content on Amazon and AppleTV. That's going to be the first place you want to go when you're thinking about self-distribution. The second one is AVOD, or ad-based video on demand, where visitors can watch your film for free, but there are commercial breaks, and platforms using this, like Tubi and Peacock, share the ad revenue with filmmakers. Then there's that last pillar of digital distribution, SVOD, or subscription video on demand. That's where you have the most prominent streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus, where their reputation and audience is huge, but the income which trickles down to filmmakers is much smaller, which is why it's last. So those are the three different tiers of digital distribution. But how do you get that distribution in the first place? Well, at the time of making this video, there are really two great filmmaker-focused platforms which are working to make access to these streaming platforms much more attainable, which is really leveling the playing field for great films and new filmmakers. Those are FilmHub and Indie Rights. As always, be wary. There are organizations out there which are less filmmaker focused and are less, shall we say, above board. And as always, none of these platforms are really truly options for you if you've already made your film available to users on YouTube. And that brings us to YouTube. You've exhausted all of your possibilities. You've worked the film festivals, large and small. You've tried to gain the attention of some of the large distributors. You've self-distributed through all three tiers of TVOD, AVOD, and SVOD, and nobody's watching it. That doesn't mean it's a bad film, that just means it's still in need of some age. Kind of like a fine wine. And that's when you put it on YouTube. Who knows, maybe you'll build a cult following on social media, and someday the audience you garner here on YouTube will build doorways to a career in film you've always worked so hard for. Just make sure you've tried the other avenues first, because the instant you post it on YouTube, they're all rolled out immediately. If you've decided to go the conventional route and film festivals are the right fit for you, then the next thing you're going to want to do is to start researching film festivals. Click here for my beginner's guide to Film Freeway. It's the industry standard platform you use to search for and apply to film festivals, often just in one click. Also, congratulations on finishing your film. I cannot wait to watch it.